So welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success story series of interviews, where we're discussing with local business leaders, their backgrounds, their successes, and the challenges they faced and what drives them forward. And today it's a real pleasure to have with us Oscar Akgul, the managing director of the Lucia restaurant chain and also the Cut and Craft Steakhouses. So Oscar, thanks so much for coming on to the interview. And if you'd be kind enough to introduce yourself, your businesses, and how you help your clients, what makes you special?
Well, thank you, Chris, for inviting me here. My name is Oscar. Well, my real name is Özgür, but people call me Oscar. I am the manager director of the Lucia restaurants, which is located on Harrogate, Beverly, and York, and also a managing director of the Cut and Craft Steakhouses, which currently one in York, and the Leeds is coming in April time. We are independent local brands. We have over 320 employees, which makes us the second largest independent company in City of York, and it's something that we're very proud.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We are Lucia restaurant is mainly Italian cuisine. With a little bit of a Mediterranean twist. We tend to do more of tapas and sharing ideas, more in a courtyard, holiday-like feeling atmospheres. And also, all our restaurants has got beautiful courtyards, they're all heated, seats and everything. And we've been around for about 12 years. York opened in 2009, followed with 2014 Harrogate, and 2011 for the Beverly, and 2018 is the Steakhouse, and obviously 2021 for the Steakhouse in Leeds coming. So we're growing. We're very young, very dynamic company, and growing as best we can.
Yeah, and the evidence is there with the growth that you've achieved, Oscar. And I'm really interested in the ethos behind your person. You know, it feels, having eaten at your restaurants, and I'm a raving fan. There's quite a different ethos behind how you operate, and I know from speaking to you previously, a lot of that comes from you and your personality. What are the things that you feel are most important about running restaurants?
Well, I think running a restaurant is not very difficult. It's only the idea that you have to have, that the customers comes to your restaurant, they are guests. They choose your restaurant to spend their money, their time, and it's something that you should be proud and appreciate it. And when you think this way, then it's just so easy to understand how to operate it. Of course, there are some technicalities behind the scenes. You have to have good managers, you have to have good communication skills, you have to have good locations, good restaurants, and good food and everything. All beside that, I think the most important thing is that you have to treat every customer who's come to your restaurant as your guests, and feel like that what they paid you and the experience, it's worth every penny. So I think just a very simple mindset. It's nothing complicated. It's just to look after these people. They are your guests. So if you think this way, then it gets really, really easy. One other thing, that when you have that mindset, and if you can somehow pass this mindset to your manager, the people that you work with, give them that sort of vision that they're here to protect the customers from a bad service, bad food. They are here to give them the experience. They're not just here just to feed the people. This isn't what we are. We are an experience restaurant. If someone chooses our restaurant for their special occasions, for their anniversary, for their birthday, friends get together. Come on, this is so important. They can't just, here is a food, eat and go. This is not what we are. And I always try to pass that mindset to the managers that I work with, that they are here to protect the customers, their money, their pocket, even from the company, even from us, to make sure that they get everything that they paid for, every penny of it. That when they leave this restaurant, I want them to say that, well, this was nice. This was a nice experience. I really liked it. And that's something that we try to achieve 100% of the time. But of course, sometimes we make mistakes. But even so, we put our hands up and say, "Look, I'm sorry. This is not our standard. We apologize, and we will make it right." So that's the mindset, and that is the way that we think that it should be go. I mean, that's my personal view.
Yep.
So far, it's worked.
Without doubt, and I know from speaking to you before, and I know you sort of say it's normal, it's natural, but it's not that common. That view of protecting. I think you used the word protecting the customer, even for the company itself, is quite unique. But clearly is the backbone of a lot of your success.
Well, it's not actually unique, but because the mindset is always in the first. Everybody opens a first-time business. They have the same mindset to engage with the customers. Ultimately to make money, but they started this business with the passionate in their head, and in time. Depends if they're successful or unsuccessful. They become more and more commercial. They become more and more money focused. They becoming more and more numbers related. I think that's something that they lose in time. The passionate they lose in time, and that's what I think. One of the reasons that businesses fails in the long run, they lose the connection between the customers. The protecting the customers, it's something that I'm keen. I mean, it's not about money. The money is, yes, great. To make the money, it's, of course, we are a business. We're gonna make money. It's not out of question. We have to make money, but you have to think differently. Everybody works so hard for their money. They throughout the day to the evening when they finish their work, they work so hard, and they decide to spend the money with your restaurant. And they come to your restaurant and they get a bad drink, bad food, they get bad service, moody stuff. Dirty toilets, I don't know, dirty floor. Come on, you have no right to do this one. You cannot do that. It's just simple mindset. You cannot do that. You have to give them the best. They work hard for their money. You have to give what they ask. Protecting the money from the business is, of course, my staff also have to protect the money from the commercial mind managers, such as the business owners become more and more money oriented. So even if the owner, the manager, director of the company, or the operators, they lose that passionate. If you are the manager, been employed, you're an independent individual person, you cannot just go by the company rules all the time. You have to have your own passionate into this business, and you have to apply it. So that's what I expect from the managers.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's the mindset. It's very simple. It's not complicated.
I know it's simple, but it's not that common. I have to say, it is different, and it really does, I feel, stand you out. So I think that's wonderful. And I guess, and obviously we've had recent challenges, but over that period of career of growing the chain of restaurants, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges and issues you've had to overcome?
Well, the challenges will be at the moment is to have the good, decent, qualified staff.
Yes,
that's one of the reasons. I think it's partly because that in UK the hospitality industry not yet has been developed to full understanding that this is a career, and it is something that is just as important as, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as doctors and nurses and things like that, but it's an important industry, and this is an entertainment industry. When you go to the cinema and you pay £5 to watch a movie, and it's called entertainment, and that's just the £5 that you pay just to watch a 2 hours movie. How can it not be that you come to the restaurant and spend hundreds of pounds and then cannot be entertainment? So here's the same mindset. You come and have a meal and you pay premium price for this. In a couple of hours time, you're going to be hungry. And how can it not be entertainment? This industry is all about entertainment. It's about experience. It's about giving the best moment and magical moments that we can best create. So to be able to provide this service in a qualified staff to understand, the individual to understand that you're not just waiter. Those days are over. Waiting, and people used to call waiter because a person wait on the table. That's over. You're not a waiter anymore. You're not a waitress anymore. You're not a servant anymore. It's just you're entertainment. You're entertainment. You can make that person meal extremely satisfactory and memorable, or you can make it as horrible as you can. So you do have the choice, and you have to see this way. To bring the UK to that mindset, it's a slow progress. It's happening, but it's coming there slowly and slowly. And I hope that this will be the case in the next years coming, and you can understand how important the hospitality in our life.
Yep, That makes absolute sense, and I can see that you know why those challenges exist right now. And over the same sort of career, what would you say are some of the biggest things you've learned about business?
I have. It's a good question. It's such a long answer as well. But to simplify the answer is, I think I thought that when I started the business, it was complicated. I thought it was just so much elements in it, but it's really not. I think there is a formula that out there to create a successful business at any business that you want to run. And if you put that formula into practice, into a line, it's really impossible to fail. It's impossible. And what I have learned in my business is that if you have a product to sell, that product must be in a suitable location, with a suitable presentable presence. You have to have the passionate from the beginning till the end. You should never work for the money and provide a service, and the money follows the service. So if you put the money making into the front of any business model, then it's a very short lifespan. You will fail it very quickly. You have to put the service and your product in a suitable location with the suitable people, the qualified people. Then you follow that with passionate within you and believe in your product. It just grows naturally. The humans that I have understand that they have a natural understanding to connect the good products and good service. They just feel natural. They just feel appreciated and they support. If you try something genuine, the customers, they support you. They really do. They give you everything. They give you their money. They give you their time. They come to you. They be on friends with you. They support you. Just be genuine.
Yeah.
Find a good, suitable product and make sure that product is suitable to the location. For example, you cannot. There's a saying in my culture. I'm from Turkey, and I'm not a very religious person, and I don't really follow that path very heavily. But there's a saying that I think is very to the point. They say you cannot sell a bacon in the Muslim community, and the reason is because they don't eat they don't eat pork, they don't eat bacon. So if you open a shop, sell pork in a Muslim community, then the chances of surviving is very little. You have to have the right product in the right locations. So if you have a product, then you have to make sure that in my industry, for example, whatever the product, the services, the restaurant, you have to understand what you're selling. What are you selling? And what you're selling is available in this market, in this location. It is a suitable location? And if the answer is yes, then how you present it? Is your restaurant is presentable? Up to it's got something unique about it. You put that question in there, and then can you afford a little bit of do you have a little bit of cash on the side to get it going in the common months? Do you have a good social presence? Do you understand the social marketing? Do you understand how to engage with the customers? Do you have a vivid personality? Can you really commit 2 hours to this? Do you have a family, new baby? Then might be wrong because you might be going between the family. So you have to understand what is the right time for you. And also, I think that the other thing is that what's your really reason? What's your main reason to make money? Why are you doing this business? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you want to be at in 5 years? You really have to ask these questions. It's very cliche questions. People don't really ask this question in the beginning because if you don't have without a good valid reason why you want to be successful or why you want to do what you want to do, then you get confused. And you lose your passion and energy and focus so quickly. And once that's gone, it's gone. Because what you also realize that in the beginning of the days, people are not really supportive to you. It can be very lonely start. So, I think there's just so much to it, this question. It's a very big question, and the answers can be long. But ultimately is, you have to do your market. You have to do market research. You need to know. That's the basic, I think.
No, I totally agree. Somebody else, I won't go into the detail, but somebody else was asked, a very successful businessman, what was his secret to business, and the answer was quite simple, complex as you said, but simple. He said, I asked my customers what they wanted, and I found it for them. And it is sort of, there are so many simple ways or simple parts of business. It doesn't have to be complicated, but
absolutely
but so important. And as you say, you know, the right product and service in the right place is absolutely key.
Yeah, it is. The other, for example, just I have a kind of a friend who opened a restaurant recently, and he's not performing. The restaurant is not performing very well, and he asked me why I think that the restaurant is not performing as much as best as he wished to do, and from my answer was that from, again, what I think I know. This is not something that I'm expert. I just think that what I think I know, that the reason that his restaurant is, up to me, is not performing very well, because he opened a very common brown, a unique, like just a traditional cuisine with nothing spectacular, nothing outstanding, nothing like a signature dish in a very convenient location where the competition is very high. So if you are opening a business that and you have your menu is very simple and alongside with the other businesses, then your chances is very little, because then you'll be entering the competition highly. But there are a lot of already established restaurants in nearby who provide the same service as you do. And for them to come to you is that they have to have a reason why they will come to you. There's hundreds of other ones available within a field. So you have to have, if you're going for a commercial area, very common, very busy area, then your products has to be unique for them to attract attention. So what was a mistake that he did, that he opened a restaurant very standard, average menu, and nothing special about it, and expect the business, and that's not gonna work. So you have to understand the business. It is very simple. It just that simplicity comes with experience. It doesn't, unless someone tell you and someone teach and you're willing to listen.
Yeah. No, that makes absolute sense. Absolute sense.
People will be attracted to something unique if you're in a very common area, as in a lot of competition in nearby. Otherwise, they won't come, because you're just like another one.
And of course, York is very competitive from a restaurant perspective.
Indeed.
Has been traditionally. So I completely get that. Just looking back, your sort of influences, who or what would you say are the biggest influences on your career? If anybody.
Well, I have a lot of, I do read a lot of biographies of the people that I'm fascinated with, but I'm I don't have a specific person. I think I have my own mindset. But when I see posts on LinkedIn or other social media, and when it grabs my attention sometimes, what the little sentences that they say, like a Richard Branson or another individuals say little things, and it just clicks on me. And I think that I pick up this information widely. My passion isn't about the individual that I see, but it's just about the experience that I had. I think we did talk about it before, that I wanted to just make sure that I want to make enough money to be able to buy anything I want to buy. And provide the best for my family, because I think that I'm a genuine guy and a good person, and I work hard, and therefore I deserve the finest things in life. And that's not materialistic. I'm not talking about the money and cars and things like that. I'm just talking about the achievement that I have, the satisfactory that I have within me. I think the more motivation is someone comes and shake my hand and say, look, well done. I really think you don't well. It's just any person. It's just a little customers that pass by, or influencers and podcast people like yourself. Anybody. Just want to say, I'm just gonna. There's a phone call coming. That's so sorry.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. That was. It's just about somebody shake my hands and genuinely say that they're proud of me. That's my motivation.
No, it's lovely. I can see that it comes across very strongly. The whole ethos of about the customer and therefore the feedback that you receive from customers is so key, and from, as you say, from other sources as well. And I totally get that. I think it's wonderful. It comes across very, very strongly. And alongside your humility, a lot of very successful people that I've spoken to, one of the common threads as well is humility, which is wonderful, because you're very much about wanting your customers and the people around you to have a great experience, which is really wonderful.
It is.
You mentioned quite. I mean, to forgive me to put you on the spot slightly, but you mentioned you pick little snippets up from lots of different people, as I love to do, and I love to pick up different quotes and sayings. You've already given me one that obviously that you said is perhaps a Turkish one, but are there any other quotes or sayings that you fall back on a regular basis that you find yourself saying, or
yeah, well, there is one frame in my bedroom every morning that I wake up and I read. It says, "No matter how you will get up, get ready and show up." It is one of them that in my bedroom. But I don't know, Chris. There are hundreds of them that I cannot I see and I don't remember which one of them has a unique points, and I think that clicks on me. It clicks on me. I think one of the one thing I was in a train in London, and there was a bollard on the train. It says, "Don't look back. You're not going that way." So one of them that I have picked up and think that you have to go forward. You have to catch up with the time. You have to innovate yourself. You have to get new ideas. You have to lead the market. You have to just move forward, even at the bad times. I think that's one thing that I picked up. There was another one that I saw in the London Underground, and he said the worst thing that in business that anyone can say that we always done it this way. I think that was one of the things that clicked on me. Well, again, I really relate to this one. Sometimes my managers, when I have a conversation with them, and they say this. We talk about why we're doing this and that, and they say it's always been like this. And I just say, like, yeah, but you have your own mindset, you have your individual experience, and the reason I hired you because I believe that you have individuality within you that you can add to the company. And if you cannot stand up and say, look, that doesn't make sense. This isn't looking good. This is not right. Why don't you feel like you can just come and say to Oscar, I'm so sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. That's not looking good. Why can't you say that?
Yeah.
And they say, I don't know. And I said, when the day that you say that you do know, and that's the day that you will become the best manager. Yeah. Because otherwise, you're not a manager.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not going to move forward with your career. You have to have your mindset. You have to have the courage and the guts to come up and say, look, I'm sorry, Oscar. I know you're the boss and I'm just a small manager. But that doesn't look good. That doesn't make sense. They have to have that courage to say that. Yeah. So we always done it that way. Is the worst thing a business can do. I don't know. But that's probably at the moment that I can remember. But there's just so many. That, I know. That comes to my mind. I think yes. It just put things in better perspective.
No, I think it's wonderful. It feels like we're quite similar as we pick many things up as we go forward. And I've never heard that one. I've heard many different quotes about looking forward, not back, but the idea of don't look back because that's not the way you're going, I just think is so simple, and it's absolutely correct, isn't it? We're not going that way.
So, no, don't look back. You're not going that way. You're going forward. You obviously everybody sees it differently, but in my vision, and if you can relate it to my life, I think it can be applied by personally, can be applied by business wise. If you're an individual and you're just stuck in the past and you're stuck in the previous relationship, stuck in that why things happening to me is always me, then you're not going to go for it. If you can have excuses. I think we said that before as well. You can have excuses and you can have success, but you cannot have both. You cannot have both. You choose which one you want to have. You want to have excuses or you want to have a success. You don't have both of it. You just choose one, and then that's what you're going to get. So I think that the mindset is very simple. It really, really is simple, Chris. It's just one thing. Something is not enough. People, everybody wants. You go outside to the street and ask who wants to make the best business, who wants the money. Everybody is gonna say, "Yeah, I want it." Everybody wants the money. Everybody wants the success. But one thing is not everybody can have what they ask. You have to have it with the passion. You have to have it with the focus. You have to add it consistency. You have to add drive. You have to add it. You need more things. When you add it, honestly, it's impossible to fail. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. You cannot fail. It's impossible. It's just when you want it and you think, but how much do you want it, and why do you want it?
Brilliant.
It's the simple questions.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So we said we're not looking. Don't look back. We're only going forward. So what does the future look like for yourself and your businesses?
I think it's going to be brilliant. and I'm really excited to show, expand my brand to different parts of the UK with a statement that it behinds and say that, look, we do it better. we try to tell the customers, look, don't spend your money in the commercial businesses, and I'm not going to name them. They don't really care about you. They don't care. They don't care who you are. They don't care your name. They pretend like they do, but they don't.
No.
They see you as a number and everything. But companies like ours, so there's a lot of companies like us out there, independent individuals, proud. There's lots of them, thousands of them. Spend your money with us. This is the company. This is the place you need to go. If you have a choice to make, be aware of where you're spending your money. For the consumers that I'm mentioning, the customers. When you want to have a cafe, well, why you want to go to that cafe? Well, look, there's an independent one around the corner. It's a small one. It's the same cafe, and they appreciate your money more than these companies. I understand that you're in an airport, you're a convenience location, it's just there. And I understand that sometimes convenience, you got to get out of the way, convenience. But when you have a choice, when you have a time, do not spend your money with corporate companies. And try to spend your money with the local small individuals. Buy from the supermarket, like a local market. It's just, that's important. My statement is very simple. I think that my products are better. I believe my service is better. I believe that I give a better value. I believe that I care alongside with my business, obviously my whole team, behalf of the Lucia. I'm not talking just me, but I think that that we are better. We are better service. We provide a better ambiente. We provide a better clean restaurants. We provide a care service. If you made a complaint, that will be dealt. We're not going to give you a case reference number. Or like, respond you back in 2 weeks' time. We'll deal with the complaint. If we're going to make you happy, we're going to try our best to make sure that you have the best experience possible. And if you ever made a mistake, we're not going to find an excuse. We're going to put our hands up and say, look, sorry. Yes, this is not right. We didn't do right. So how can I make it right? And that's the question that we're going to say. And I would like to take that brand to the many locations in UK, to tell the big boys. I know they hate me when I say that, but to show them how it's done.
Brilliant. I'm absolutely convinced. I'm totally behind you. I think that's absolutely great.
I'm not trying to ignore it.
No, but everything you've said about the difference between coming to one of your restaurants and going to one of the big boys is very, very true, and I think it's wonderful. And again, your passion is just overflowing, and it's so great to hear. Really,
because
really
I sincerely care, Chris. I cannot say, but
yes.
I really care. I really care
Without
about people's money. So I work hard. I work really hard. And I know that every person in this restaurant works hard. And I know that every person comes to my restaurant, they work hard. So when they spend the money, to me, it's just not the money. I feel privileged that they choose my restaurant, my business. And this is the same for the chefs. I said that to the chefs. They come to eat your food. You have to take ownership of your food. You have to take a prompt. You don't send anything that you don't really like. We have a food runner here in our restaurants that carries the food from the kitchen to the table, and we give the most power to the food runners. They are the most powerful individuals within our operations. In fact, they are so much powerful, probably more powerful than me and operation managers and other managers. If the food runners doesn't like the food, then they will not take it. Wow. There's no one within the company can challenge this. If the food runners doesn't like the food, doesn't like the chips, that it looks soggy, doesn't like that that pasta looks bad, or I don't know, whatever that they think is, that they will not take it, and no one can authorize to go ahead. They have to absolutely be sure. So simple ideas like that. Give the power to the right person and follow up and give them the support, and they feel supported. They feel special, and they care.
Brilliant.
They care. They do care. Everybody cares.
It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and I'd have to say that a great, you're a great advertisement for your restaurants, and it just comes, it absolutely comes across. So two sort of final questions, which I'm interested to get the answers to, actually, because I've so enjoyed our conversation. What would you say to anyone that was thinking of going into business right now? What would be your advice?
I think depending on what type of business they do. If it's in a retail hospitality business, such as that I do, I think that there are great times. I think there are opportunities highly available. You're in a position to negotiate with the landlords. There's a huge government support currently available. The money is very cheap at the moment to buy from the banks. So there are these opportunities as well. And the UK is growing from south to north, which has always been the case in our industry. Everything starts in the south, such as cities like London, and then expand because just not enough room and market in down south, and then they expand to the different locations, and that's where the different cuisines comes. I think if you have a Pacific cuisine, a type of cuisine, and if you are good at it, it doesn't matter what your location is in here, but if you have a good food and you're genuine and you care about the service, and it doesn't matter if your chairs is not the best or your table is not the best looking or the restaurant is not looking good. The people don't care about these things. They don't care. They care about the food and they care about the sincerity. If you have a sincere heart, a good product within your hands, a unique cuisine, so nothing just to the same like others, then go for it. You'll succeed. Go for it.
Brilliant. I didn't expect anything other than a positive response. So and finally, what advice would you give? What advice would you give to an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time?
One thing that I have regret, Chris, I think that my family is very academic background. I wasn't. I didn't study. I wish that I have studied the business management in academic level. I think that will have given me a better understanding in terms of the academic level. I work with managers, young managers. Some of them is like 21, 22, 23 years old. And the knowledge that they have is just mind-blowing. What they have learned in the schools, it's just, to me, is I'm nothing compared to their knowledge. And I'm lucky enough to share their experience and their academic levels at that level. I think the one thing that I will have done, I will have studied the business management in academic level, but I didn't. I just come from the bottom and were hardworking.
Wow, brilliant!
Yeah, that's the only thing.
So it just shows there are many different routes to achieve something, and you know it's doing what's right for ourselves. That's absolutely wonderful. And again, thank you so much. I was so pleased to. Obviously, we had an interview probably 9-10 months ago, and talking mainly about obviously the challenges through COVID. I was really keen that we learned a little bit more about you and your ethos and your the culture that you bring into your brand, and it's just wonderful to hear. How you think about business, how you think about it's about the customer, and you've said the phrase so many times that your customers work hard for their money, and it's important that they get the experience. And that's really going to stick with me, I have to say, because I think it's bang on. It's remembering that the money that we receive for the things that we do is hard, as you said, it's hard earned. And the respect of that is so important, and it's wonderful.
You need to tell your managers. I do tell my managers that say that if you see something that I do wrong, you need to tell me.
Yeah.
You need to protect the customers from me. Even if I just turn around and say, come on, just get it out of the way. Just no, you're gonna say no, Oscar. No. This is not that I was ever saying anything like that, but they have to protect the customers' money, and this is why they're hired for. They're hired for two reasons. My managers work for two things in our restaurants. One is to work alongside with the staff, train the staff, make them a better individuals, teach this job. And second is protect the customers from the company. And when I'm saying the company, is not the company is always, we're not trying to rip anybody, but
no, I understand.
You need to protect the customers. You need to make sure that food is good. This is that. The drinks is standards good, the toilets are clean. This is what you have to do, because if the company doesn't provide a clean toilet, good food, good drinks, that's where the company fails, and you need to protect it against it. So that's what I tell them: work for customers and work for the staff, not for the company. not for the restaurant.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. It's a very, very strong point that's come across, and it clearly is the reason that your brand, your restaurants give such great experience, feedback, and food, and why you're so successful. So it's very, very clear that it comes from that ethos, that culture, that brand, which I thank you for. So I again like to thank you so much for taking the time to speak today. Have you any last thoughts that we?
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for giving me the opportunity to express myself in my business and how I feel about the business. Yes, one little thing that I would like to say is that I have a son who is 20 years old, and I do say that to him as well. I think what I would like to say to the young people out there, and in short, look, guys, don't waste your time. The time just goes really fast. You have to understand the difference between a time to have a good time to have educate, time to have a future. You have to, guys. Nothing is gonna come easy. Please do not waste your time. If you have create a passion, find what interests you, and then go for it. Just for the young people, don't waste your time. Just find something that you're passionate about, and just go for it. That's all I'm going to say.
Brilliant. What a great last thought to end on. And Oscar, it's been an absolute pleasure again, and I really thank you. I know you're a very, very busy man, so I really appreciate taking the time to give us your thoughts.
It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.